I'm not gonna lie. This is like the third time I've recorded this video, fam. I'm tired. I'm tired of this shit, bruv. I was even gonna use the whiteboard, but then I was like, nah, because I can't write for shit. You see the handwriting? It's shit, bruv. What? Because class is in session. This pen's not working, fam. Hey! Anyways, yo, wagwan people, this is Jeantavius, aka Jeantavius, and today it is June 2nd. Obviously, happy Pride Month to all that it applies to and all who celebrate it. As a popular request, I've gotten a microphone, so y'all can stop bitching about the audio quality. Audio is nice, fresh, crispy. I'm glad that I was able to make this investment because this microphone is nice. Hella sensitive though, but it's nice. Yeah, as you can notice, for once, I have a trim and I'm looking fresh. I'm looking good, looking nice. Hide your auntie. You don't see it. I even took my hair out the other day, washed, blow dried it. If you saw the afro that I came out with, bro, I should have started in the Lion King. Another thing you're gonna notice is that the beard is gone. And not the full beard. The goatee can stay. But whatever I had going on here was a mess. I've been growing it since I started tea, and honestly, I've been holding on to it, hoping that it would grow in fully, but I didn't. So I thought I'd let it go, and it looks way better now, I can't lie. But anyways, pre-tea tips. Now, obviously, because I'm disorganized, I had to take notes on this. The first thing I put down was doing research and planning your journey. See, when I first came out, I had no fucking clue what to do. First thing I did when I found out about trans people and the fact that they exist is research. Research. Medical procedures, the preparation, other experiences, the variations of that. You need to understand what exactly you're getting into. I put down here to start seeing a therapist, some sort of therapist, a counselor, someone who can guide you. Having someone that you can speak to in like some sort of professional field when it comes to psychology is very important. When you're dealing with coming out and all of that, in this day and age as well, it's not exactly as easy. Back then, it was a lot more difficult for me navigating this sort of thing because I didn't really have a lot of examples growing up. I didn't have a lot of representation and I didn't have a lot of companions that were going through the same thing. It would have been very helpful just to have someone who has an understanding of my experience so I could talk to you when it came to certain difficulty. Not every time you have to have someone that knows everything. Having someone to talk to at the very least is very, very important. Seeking a professional therapist, I'm more saying that because you want to be sure about what you're doing. You don't want to just jump into it and then regret it later. There's already enough of a bad reputation around trans people because of the whole detransition thing. It's very important, very, very important for people to be understanding what's going on. You can't just be getting these surgeries and taking these hormones, but you don't know what they're doing. Now you're having side effects that were on the medication, baffled because you're growing facial hair. You never read something? You don't want to be going through with something, changing your body, and then regretting it later, feeling more shit about yourself. And another thing you want to prioritize is getting as far ahead in life as you can. Transitioning in itself, socially and physically, takes a lot of time and energy. There are a lot of things that you want to get done beforehand. You don't want to feel like you're behind in life because you waited until you started hormones before you did anything. Going to the gym, getting your license, saving up, getting a job. Things are going to be difficult sometimes when you don't pass as well. And obviously, it doesn't apply to everyone, and I'm not trying to push everyone to do something they're not comfortable with. Definitely have the money saved up, some sort of independence, because you never know what could happen when it comes to people, especially with all the physical and mental fatigue that you may experience. It's best to have these things out the way. I hope that makes sense, innit? Because I'm not really make sure you're hustling, man. Don't lose sight of what you love. Find your hobbies. It can really cater to your escapism or whatever you use to sort of, you know, calm yourself down or feel better. Yeah, make sure that you've got yourself put together, essentially. Now, presentation is the next thing. Training your voice to try and sound lower. It's hard for me to explain this because I'm not any kind of vocal professional. When you're talking, try and speak from your chest. That's where most guys learn to speak from, especially when their voice drops. Hence why my voice doesn't sound like this, because if I talk like this now from my mouth or from up here, it's gonna sound a bit higher. But now that I'm speaking from my chest, you can hear the bass in my voice, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Drinking lots of water, drinking lots of tea, making sure that your throat is hydrated. Those are things you should be doing anyway, you know what I mean? Just to make sure you're healthy, but staying hydrated, it's gonna help with making your voice sound a bit deeper. Taking naps a lot as well, sleeping a lot. It didn't really help too tough because obviously if my voice ain't dropped, it's not gonna sound the same. Getting used to speaking in a lower tone will really help you, especially after you start tea. I think there's like this whole idea of like the trans voice where you're more clockable and it sounds a bit higher pitched. Getting used to speaking from a lower point, like from your chest, where the bass is, you know what I mean, it will help you out a lot. One thing that I did beforehand was I chewed a lot of gum. Chewing gum does help with your breath, obviously, but what I did was I used it for my jaw. I was chewing gum all the time in school, like I'd even double up or triple up because I wanted to exercise my jaw so I could square it out a bit more. or hopefully do something in that case. I was sort of looking at it as like training in the gym to increase muscle size. Another thing you want to train is your forearms. If you want your forearms to be more vascular, and I've been advertising this bare, but this forearm trainer is very, very helpful for that. If you're in class or whatever and need a stress toy or something like that, this is very, very helpful. I'd usually do like 4 sets of like 20-25, but I might just go to like failure. It's not really the same as it is, you know, with your other muscle groups, but it is nice to A, pass the time, and B, to grow your forearms and strengthen your forearms and your grip. Yeah, you can see how my forearms look now. Obviously the tats can help, but yeah, they're a lot more veiny. I want to say it's because of the forearm trainer, because I use it a lot. If you're having like a rest day, you can just use it on a subtle thing. You don't have to be doing too much. And then keeping this around with you, carry this around everywhere you go. When you get bored, you can just use it, man. Forearm trainers are definitely a shout. If not, use your stress balls. These are also very helpful. It might not be as tough, but it's better to have something that you can exercise with than not to. Working out and training is also important, and everyone keeps getting onto me for this. When you're working out, you don't have to overcomplicate it. When you're going to the gym, you can have your push day, pull day, leg day. If you want to simplify it even more, upper body, lower body, make sure you have your rest days in between. My split right now is push, pull, legs, rest, push, pull, legs, rest. If you want to simplify it again, upper, lower, rest, upper, lower, rest. So just have some sort of routine that you can stick to. And if you can't go to the gym, try and get some weights, work out at home. I've got mine, my little 8 kg weights. These have been doing me some justice. I won't even be going to the gym today because I've got an Amazon package coming, so I'll be working out with these. I've even got a pull-up bar. I'm working on getting the one that you can just put in the doorway and then sort of screw out, just so that when I'm traveling I can have like some sort of pull-up bar. If you don't have equipment, have some content out, some workout videos that you can sort of look at and refer to. And there's plenty of workout videos on the internet where you can just follow along, so don't overcomplicate it. I started out watching certain YouTube channels, taking up the workouts and doing them at home. The follow along workouts at home, you can easily do. Replaying that video every other day, having some sort of split when it comes to that. Very, very simple. So obviously don't overcomplicate it with fitness. You just try to get into some sort of routine of, you know, getting active. Testosterone will make things easier over time. I'd say having a good foundation, building a foundation is very important. So definitely get on that. Don't wait for tea. Get on that. On top of that, you want to build up your strength as well, for many reasons. Self-defense is one thing. Learning self-defense is also pretty good. You can join any sort of martial arts classes or anything. Plenty of reasons why you need to learn self-defense. Many other reasons why trans people need to learn self-defense. I'd recommend just trying some sort of class, or just use like the follow along YouTube videos. You don't have to do anything too complicated. As long as you have some sort of self-defense training or anything of the sort in your routine, it will definitely do you some good. Things like haircuts, outfits, whatever, accessories, it's all up to you. Me personally, I got this dickhead 90s fucking high top looking shit. I'll be real, I hated that haircut. But over time, I got my own money. I went to a barber, got my haircut properly. I had it in a high top for a while, but here's one thing, because with my parents, they're Christian, they're Pentecostal, whatever. My mum didn't like the fact that I cut my hair. So what I did, I kept the top bit. Every so often she braids it, and it gives her some sort of sense of relief. I have my hair long on top and I love it. Honestly, I'm glad that I kept it. It's taken like 7 years to get to this point. Honestly, it's ridiculous. Find your hairstyle. If you can't find styles, go on Pinterest. I'm all over Pinterest. I find so many ideas. There's a lot of trans tips up there as well. I've got plenty of content on Pinterest as well. I feel like I'm more active on Pinterest than any other platform. Yeah, it's just good to sort of escape and find your ideas, really. Find your style. And another thing is style. Like let's take me for example right now. Here's the fit. Here's the fit. I incorporate a lot of baggy clothing. Now I'm on T, so it's a bit different, but it's better to have baggy clothing. Easy to hide like your chest if you're trying to bind and it's not really working too tough. Layers are very helpful too. Speaking of layers now, one clothing tip that I mentioned that some people were confused about was the vest on top of the binder. I'm going to show you that now. As you can see, you can't really see the binder too tough, but like you see the binder lines. I'm wearing a black binder underneath this shirt. Let me go and get my vest now. So I'm just gonna show you as an example. Obviously you lot behave. I know some of you motherfuckers be on the TikTok comments moving feral, cause as you can see, here's me in the binder. I've put this on now. And the thing is, a lot of guys wear like these as undershirts, so it's not like it's very uncommon. It's just something that's helpful for hiding binder lines if you don't want to be too obvious. Now I've put this on top of it, and now you can't really see it all too tough. It's not really as obvious. You don't really focus on that because you can just see the outline of the vest. It's not going to do too much. It might help with the shape when you're binding. It's a small tip that I picked up that I just thought was very useful. Now see, when it comes to trousers, it's something different. Good fitting trousers are very hard to find for trans people, so I'd recommend cargos. I love cargos. Cargos are my go-to. You don't really have too much of a shape with cargos. It's just like cargos, innit? They're usually baggy and they have pockets as well. If you want to keep your shit in the pockets, keep them in the pockets, man. Yeah, as you can sort of see, this is the sort of fit I'm working with. It doesn't really show off the hips too much. When I wear my pants, I wear it sort of like down here. I sag a little bit, just so that it doesn't look too obvious. And plus with my style, it sort of works. Plus like white shoes help make your feet look a bit bigger. I usually just wear it just below my hip line just so that it doesn't, you know, flare out too tough. I mean, back then it didn't look as straight down as it does now. Part of me wishes that I made this video when I was pre-T. But yeah man, wearing baggy clothes as a whole, it does help out a lot with hiding the shape. You sort of create your own shape, like wear like a bigger hoodie on top or whatever. Hiding is difficult. There's the obvious and well-known double sports bra technique. I haven't had any sports bras. I've only ever really used binders. If I can find a video, then I can just add it. But yeah, like sports bras, you can use that to bind if you can't get a binder. And it's pretty safe, relatively easy. If you can't pass and if your parents aren't really all that, but if you want to get a sports bra, you know what I mean, at least you can just sort of work around that. If you don't feel like the sports bras are doing enough, I'd say just use the vest technique as well. Try and maybe hide the, you know, lines and that. You could even layer up on vests because it's way better than layering up with binders, because obviously that's not really safe, is it? See, like one little tip that I'm just gonna share. I don't know what it is with me and fits today, fam, but the way I'll be switching up this outfit during this video, you think I'm in a fucking MI6, bro. When it comes to hoodies now, sometimes I like to do this thing where I zip it up but not fully. I sort of zip up to like sort of here. When I put my hood up, it's like you don't really notice it too tough because it's like, you know what I mean? You can show off the chain as well. That's how I usually do it, and it's really helpful. I like the way it looks, so I'd say, yeah, just like 3/4 or like maybe a bit lower. After packing, I like to pack relatively simply. I don't like to, you know, overcomplicate it. I just use a sock and a safety pin. I literally just put the sock in my boxes and I just safety pin it on and it just stays. Like, using packers is one thing, but if you're on a budget, whatever, just use a sock. It's better to use the... I'm going to show off a few kinds of boxes and how I pack with them. Usually you can do the same thing with all of them. I've got these ones from Casual Rain that are sort of made for packing. They've got a little pouch in here, which is nice. A lot of boxes you'll see will come like this. Now I prefer not to pack with these, but some of them actually just look good. So having a safety pin is just good for that. But I prefer having a little pouch. I'll put the safety pin in anyway. Sometimes with boxes you'll see like a little pouch in here. You can just put it in there and then it will hold a lot better. Another tip that was pretty helpful for when you're bleeding. I mentioned this in another video. I wear these and then I wear a pad underneath this, and then I'd put this on and then put my boxes on top of them, and I can still have the pack out in the boxes, so it won't really affect too much of it. It's just good for when you're going through, you know, bleeding and stuff like that. You don't really want to be dealing with that, but it is what it is. You know, that's a good way to help with it, whatever you're comfortable with using. But that's how I was using it with the pad. I skimmed over shoes a while ago, but shoes, I have quite a few pairs of shoes now. I usually go for like these. Looking at the white shoes is very annoying, don't get me wrong, because it gets dirty very easily, but they do look good. They do make your feet look bigger. I'd say get like more chunkier shoes like maybe Jordans. A lot of high top shoes as well are pretty good. That's your style anyway. I'll show you a couple examples of shoes that I have. Boots, whatever, they can help you look taller as well. Because Air Forces, they definitely make me look taller. The Temples make me look taller. I love how they go with the outfit. So wearing those kinds of shoes, definitely very helpful. Now, hygiene is the next thing. Men's cologne, shower gel. Looking masculine is one thing, but smelling masculine is also another. There's nothing more gender affirming than going outside and knowing that you smell good, getting compliments on your cologne or whatever. I'm gonna show off a few colognes that I like. I just recently got this one from Hugo Boss. I like this a lot. This is my new favourite thing now. This is also my favourite thing for a while. Spice Bomb. This is really, really good. Along with this Bentley perfume and the Sean Paul perfume. These are all pretty good and they smell very nice. I also like having the Arab perfumes. Now these are very, very underrated. No one talks about this enough. Usually I put some of this on after like I've sprayed, well, it doesn't really matter what order you put it in. I like to layer up on smells. I'll be having these little nude perfumes, the oil-based ones. They last longer, easier to apply. And even the shower gels, the deodorant. Plus, like, when you start tea, you're gonna start sweating bare and stinking. So you're gonna wanna be on top of that and actually have a routine or something set up so that you still smell good. Plus the pheromones that might come with the cologne. I'm just saying, this is optional. Using a derma roller when you're pre-T on the areas that you want to grow facial hair on, maybe some rosemary oil or whatever. Obviously make sure you're looking after your skin and cleaning the derma roller and whatever you need to do to make sure that you don't fuck up. I'm not sure entirely if it does help, but every little helps, you know what I mean? Plus, if it feels gender affirming for you, definitely go for it if you want to shave every so often. At the time, my friend suggested me use a derma roller and some Rogaine. That's what men use to grow back their hairline sometimes. If it helps, definitely go for it. Make sure you're looking after your skin when you're doing this as well, and you're cleaning up everything. When you're using the derma roller, it is literally pricking your skin, creating little micro cuts in your skin or whatever. So if you're going to be doing that, make sure that you're looking after your skin and that everything is clean and hygienic and shit. One thing that I learned recently as well when I was traveling, when you're traveling and going through TSA, don't wear your dick. Put it in your bag. Like, bruv, I don't know how to explain the story about how I had to go through TSA, walked through the little barriers, and these motherfuckers tell me to take my dick off. Are you mad? You want to avoid that kind of interaction. It just feels kind of weird. Oh yeah, definitely just keep it in your bag or whatever. If it's a sock and a safety pin, it shouldn't be too tough. When you've gone through security, you can just go to the toilet, put it back on again, and you're feeling good. But yeah, one thing for TSA, don't wear your dick. If you've got STPs, packers, whatever, put it in hold luggage or whatever. You ain't gotta overthink it too tough. Not gonna lie, I had to run get my Amazon parcels real quick. A few things I bought. Picked up a little silicone scrubber. That's pretty good for, you know, showering and that. And for my black folks who have, like, you know, black hair, obviously. Satin pillowcases. Get some satin pillowcases. Look after your hair though. I think I'm done with that.